Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 269 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng had known that Ancestor of the Space Beast Alliance wanted to admit him, but he hadn't expected Ancestor to be so straightforward. No, Luo Feng answered without hesitation. It would have been ridiculous for him to say yes. The human race treated him with great generosity, and besides, after 100,000 years, Earthlings had been spread across the entire Ganwu universe, and they had blended in the human race family. Besides, Luo's family had had people reach all the regions in the universe. How was it possible for him to break away from the human race like that? He needed to think about his parents and his wife. Ancestor was dazed for a moment but then nodded. I almost forgot that you're still fairly new. Your family and friends are still alive. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. How about this? Ancestor continued. Your golden horned beast can join my Space Beast Alliance. He can be known as Golden Mountain Knight. This won't affect anything you have within the human race, just as you can call for help on the original stars as a human and you can also call for help as a space beast. From now on, you'll have two powers to support you. However, said Luo Feng, I'll also bear responsibilities from both sides. It was beneficial for Luo Feng to join a new power. However, he would also bear new responsibilities. He understood why Ancestor wanted him to join the alliance. Once he became a Universe Knight, his godly body would be close to some Universe Masters, as he had reached the perfect life gene level. And together with ultimate techniques of Universe Masters, a top-tier set of true treasures, and pinnacle true treasures, he would be much stronger. And once he became a Universe Master, he would rival the top-tier Universe Masters like Primal Chaos City Leader. Besides, he had Sitting Mountain Guest behind him to help. How could he not draw Luo Feng to his side? Yes, the alliance gives you assistance, and meanwhile, you will need to bear some responsibilities. Ancestor looked at Luo Feng. Great power comes with great responsibility. What do you think? No problem. I can bear them. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Wonderful. Ancestor nodded with satisfaction. It was better for him to have more help on the path of great beings. When he was trapped or in danger, and if the Hong Alliance couldn't help him in time, he would now have the Space Beast Alliance. Besides, Luo Feng had gone to Space God Mountain once, and the members of the Space Beast Alliance were like brothers, contrary to the strict hierarchy in the human race. Just when Ancestor and Luo Feng reached an agreement, Sitting Mountain Guest walked towards them. I didn't hear your conversation, he said, but it seems that you've successfully admitted him, Space Beast Ancestor. Master, Luo Feng greeted Sitting Mountain Guest. Luo Feng, did that old man give you some benefits? Asked Sitting Mountain Guest. He was being quite blunt. Luo Feng was smart enough to say, not yet. Sitting Mountain Guest turned around and glared at Sitting Mountain Guest. Your alliance will definitely bestow a Universe Knight with great potential a true treasure if you find one. How come this disciple of mine didn't get one? It's lucky for you space beasts that my disciple has joined your alliance. Ancestor was dazed. I just gave. Don't mention the beast god armor, Sitting Mountain Guest scolded. That was because of the bet you lost. That's not something your alliance gave to Luo Feng. There was, indeed, a rule within the alliance that a Universe Knight with great potential would be bestowed with a true treasure if he didn't have one. However, the alliance wouldn't waste true treasures if the individual in question had already had one. They needed to earn them through their contributions to the race. As for Luo Feng, he had a top-tier set true treasure, so obviously, he didn't lack true treasures. Ancestor looked at Luo Feng. Ha ha. It makes sense. Luo Feng has already stood at the top among the universe overlords. It is indeed lucky for my alliance to have him. Luo Feng, you should know that no matter which power you join, you need to exchange true treasures with your contributions. Even if your great potential deserves true treasures, the one bestowed to you won't be precious. Luo Feng nodded. It was like Bark Mirror Emperor. He only had an ordinary true treasure armor. Your golden horned beast doesn't need true treasures anymore, said Ancestor, but your original earthling body is better at close combat. I know that you've been using spiritual force weapons. I'll give you a senior true treasure that's a weapon for close combat. Thank you, Ancestor, Luo Feng responded. He would definitely take a free true treasure. It was more than enough to have a senior true treasure weapon for close combat. So stingy of you, Sitting Mountain Guest murmured. Sitting Mountain Guest, unlike you, I have an entire Space Beast Alliance to take care of, Ancestor said with resignation. If you think the true treasure I gave him is not good enough, you should give something better. Rest assured, I'll definitely give him a better one. Sitting Mountain Guest glared at Ancestor jokingly. What kind of close combat weapons do you need? Ancestor asked Luo Feng. A sword, said Luo Feng. I'd like it to look like this. He pointed to the sky, and his godly power concentrated, forming the shape of a ghost sword. I don't have one that's exactly like that. How about this one? Ancestor waved his right hand and transported a true treasure from somewhere else. The sword was slightly bent. The handle was purple, and there were complex patterns on it. It looked like a two-handed sword in the shape of a saber. The blade part is close to the one you want, but the handle is longer, said Ancestor. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Great. Take it. Ancestor smiled, and the ancient blade flew toward Luo Feng. He penetrated it with his godly power, and information flooded his mind. The sword was called Cutting Pearl Sword. Cutting Pearl, Luo Feng held the sword and slashed the space. There were cuttings left in the space it touched, which satisfied Luo Feng. It was like the first time when he used the ghost blade on Earth, which was exciting. This is the information about our Space Beat Alliance. Ancestor threw a golden book towards Luo Feng. There are many other gathering places for our alliance aside from Space God Mountain. Every gathering has a portal to Space God Mountain. You can leave some keepsakes in the gathering places and transport yourself there, and thus, to Space God Mountain any time. Be sure to come back to Space God Mountain sometimes, at least to get keepsakes from Golden Horn Master and Xian Mie Master so that you can get some help from them when you're in danger. You belong to the bloodline of the Golden Horned Beasts. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. There were different bloodlines in Space Beast Alliance, and the leaders of his bloodline were Golden Horn Master and Xian Mie Master. I'll leave with Luo Feng, then? Sitting Mountain Guest asked. Sure. Ancestor smiled. I'll send you two back, it'll be faster. Space and time became twisted. Suddenly, Luo Feng and Sitting Mountain Guest disappeared and reappeared elsewhere. We've been transported back to the original universe, said Sitting Mountain Guest. I'll separate us from the universe operation law temporarily. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng and added, after a while, when the universe operation law senses the change in your life gene level, there'll be a sharp change in your golden horned beast. Your godly body will become significantly stronger and will reach the perfect level like last time. But there won't be inherited techniques this time. No inherited techniques? Luo Feng was confused and disappointed by this. That's right. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. Bestowal of a supreme inherited technique is a great opportunity for great beings who reach the perfect life gene level. Their minds will be drawn to the center of the universe origin, and they'll receive an inheritance. Your mind has already been given an inheritance, so you don't get a second chance, nobody does. Luo Feng understood. Besides, it means nothing to you. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. One supreme inherited technique is enough. And you've created an ultimate technique of universe masters. If you need more techniques, just create them. Luo Feng nodded. When you can drive Star Tower, you won't need any supreme inherited techniques. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. When you can drive all the complex engravings in Star Tower, those techniques will mean nothing to you. Luo Feng nodded. Although he was already a high achiever in techniques, those engraving sculptures in Star Tower still looked quite intricate. No wonder it was a supreme true treasure. If he would be able to use Star Tower in the future, all he needed to do was drive the engravings in Star Tower, as Sitting Mountain Guest said. This is a token. Sitting Mountain Guest threw Luo Feng a token that looked like a blue stone. Luo Feng took it. It was specially made by me, and it's an ordinary true treasure, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Just put your mind into it if you need to connect to me. I'll receive it instantly. Okay, said Luo Feng. Go back to your god country now. It'll take you a lot of energy to become more than 55,000 miles tall from 600 miles, and you need to prepare those energies by yourself. Luo Feng nodded. He knew that the universe operation law would only evolve his godly body. As for the energy he needed for evolution, last time, it was world energy that remote ocean had absorbed to evolve. Go, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng could clearly sense his god country and where his original earthling body was. Suddenly, his original earthling body sent an undying slave through god country. Luo Feng left in the green light of god country transportation. After 3 teleportations through space ripples, Luo Feng returned to his god country. He could already feel the power from universe operation law. Golden Horned Beast, wearing beast god armor, roared above the remote ocean. His bones, flesh, horns, and muscles started to bulge sharply, and he began to absorb all the godly power in the boundless remote ocean. The Golden Horned Beast stepped on the water of the boundless remote ocean. His hoofs were tens of thousands of miles tall, and his body was more than 55,000 miles long. That tail, covered with scales, perfectly matched the main body. The wing, also covered with scales, looked as if it could cover the sky and contained endless godly power. Each inch of his skin merged with the top-tier set true treasure beast god armor. His natural scales perfectly integrated with the scales of the true treasure, and there were 5 small horns and 1 large horn on his head. Wearing the beast god armor made the Golden Horned Beast look fiercer than ever. A perfect godly body that's more than 55,000 miles tall. Luo Feng was thrilled. The godly power I have now is much stronger than what I had before. From now on, he would be able to perform I Am the Universe anytime, and he would be considerably more powerful in his own miniature universe. The Golden Horned Beast howled loudly. Everything's ready now. It's time to find Tian Yang Knight. Luo Feng smiled. I bought the domain type True Treasure 9 Tiger River and obtained the 4th black metal because I couldn't deal with Tian Yang Knight, but I didn't expect to gain so much. The original plan was only to get the 4th black metal and make the Golden Horned Beast perfect so that he was able to perform I Am the Universe. Yet everything was going much better than he had anticipated. The top-tier set True Treasure Beast God Armor, the senior True Treasure Cutting Pearl Sword, and a self-created ultimate technique of Universe Masters. After practicing on the engraving picture path for 180 million years, he had become quite confident. He would definitely be able to kill Tian Yang Knight and seize the other wing. The problem is, I need to find this Tian Yang Knight first. Luo Feng was wearing force armor and carrying the cutting pearl sword with his wing open. He left his god country with his golden horned beast in his world ring and departed for the original stars. Although ordinary great beings of the human race would make an avatar to connect to the virtual universe when all their bodies were leaving for the original stars, it was unnecessary for Luo Feng to do so. Remote Ocean Body was Luo Feng's largest body, and he could connect to the virtual universe using the sensor. Luo Feng walked into the open-air bar in the virtual universe where Universe Knights from the Hong Alliance shared information. Luo Feng. Blade River. The Universe Knights greeted Luo Feng, but they isolated themselves from the surroundings and started to gossip as soon as he walked away. Many Universe Knights went to ask Luo Feng for true treasures when the original stars just opened, one of them said, and I heard that even his brother, Gui Yi Knight, went to him as well. However, he didn't lend anything to anyone because he said he wanted to go, too. Yet he hasn't stepped foot in the original stars yet. He won't unless he seeks his own death. He's no fool. He's like a moving treasure chest and carries great fame. He'll definitely attract widespread attention if he goes. But it was lame for him to refuse to help. If he didn't dare go in, he shouldn't have used it as an excuse. Why didn't he just say he didn't want to lend his true treasures? That's right. Why couldn't he just be straightforward? Why did he lie and tell others that he was going to? There were thousands of universe nights in the open-air bar, and discussions transpired when Luo Feng walked in, but they all kept them as secrets. After all, Luo Feng was able to kill Bark Mirror Emperor as an undying fighter. He would almost certainly become a universe overlord when he became a universe knight. Nobody wanted to mess with Luo Feng. Kwangju Knight, shouted Luo Feng. The built man with 3 horns on his head turned around and laughed. Blade River. He walked toward Luo Feng. Come here. Luo Feng walked to an empty table and sat on the giant table. Great beings in the Hong Alliance were of different sizes, and the chairs were not only exquisite but also gigantic. Kwangju Knight sat down. Luo Feng ordered a glass of grape wine, and an undying waiter served him the wine instantly. It was the dream of many undying fighters to be servants here, as it was easy for them to meet universe knights who were almost impossible for them to meet otherwise. They might even become friends with some universe knights if they were lucky enough. Besides, they could also overhear some confidential information about the universe. Blade River, you wouldn't have come to see me if you didn't want my help, Kwangju Knight said. He put down his glass and laughed. Tell me, what's the matter? Their voices were blocked from the others. Help me find a universe knight from another race, said Luo Feng. Who? Asked Kwangju Knight. Tian Yang Knight, said Luo Feng. I want to know who he is, which original star he's on, and what the coordinates are. The universe overlord, Tian Yang Knight, of the automaton race. The one known for his 8 shuttles. Kwangju Knight was surprised. Why are you looking for him? He's a handful. Although he's not as terrific as those universe overlords of special life forms, he's still very difficult to deal with. No need to be concerned about that, said Luo Feng. Please just do me this favor. Once you get his information, tell me. Of course. Kwangju Knight nodded. Ha ha. Thank you so much. Let's drink. Luo Feng raised his wine glass, but it was the mind of his boundless remote ocean that went into the virtual universe, which was why he looked so relaxed. He was talking to Kwangju Knight about what happened on the original stars, and a lot had happened in the past 20,000 years. As Luo Feng and Kwangju Knight were drinking, they heard a yell of exasperation. Ganwu. I'm not pushing you, but I was just revived by a universe master because I got killed on the original stars. You know that I needed to pay a price to be revived. After being resurrected, I've owed our race 1.3 true treasure points. I can't fulfill it even if I devoted all I had to our race. I didn't force you to give me back the valuables you owe me, but now? Many universe knights looked to where the fight came from. So did Luo Feng and Kwangju Knight. Luo Feng frowned. There were 2 great beings sitting in a corner. One of them was a universe knight with purple skin and silver hair, who was accusing in anger. The other was Ganwu Universe Country Master. Ganwu Universe Country Mesa looked embarrassed and blocked their conversation from the surroundings, seeking to placate him. The Universe Knight destroyed the blocking and yelled, "Why are you blocking us from others? Ganwu, we've been friends for hundreds of millions of years. I know that you've had a hard time yourself, which is why I've never asked for what you owe me back. But look at me now. How can you still delay the payback?" Ganwu Universe Country Master sat there with his face in his palm. The Universe Knight lowered his voice gradually. What happened? Luo Feng said with a frown. It's because of the resurrection, exclaimed Kwangju Knight, shaking his head. It's against the universe operation law to turn back time and revive someone, which is why even universe masters will get hurt if they do it. That universe knight, Maihua Knight, died on the original stars and was revived, after which he owed our race 1.3 true treasure points. That's worthy an ordinary true treasure. Ordinary universe knights could only pay them back by devoting an eternity. As for Ganwu Universe Country Master, his situation is even worse than Maihua Knight's. Worse? Luo Feng frowned. Yes, Kwangju Knight said. All 1008 Universe Country Masters are ancient Universe Knights. Luo Feng nodded. After the 1008th universe country was found, no more universe countries were founded within the human race, the main reason being that there weren't enough territories. Apparently, those who could become universe country masters were all ancient. The longer you live, the less potential you have. Kwangju Knight shook his head and sighed. Gamwu Universe Country Master died 3 times, and every time after he died, he was successfully resurrected. However, it cost him dearly to be revived. One time, he died on one of the original stars and lost all the true treasures he borrowed. As for the other 2 times, he lost some set treasures. Luo Feng sighed in his heart. It was true, when you died, you lost your true treasures. What's worse is that those who lent him true treasures came after him after he was revived, Kwangju Knight continued. He can pay the race back slowly without being pressured, but as for that which he owes to other great beings, they are continuously demanded payback. After all, it's not easy for other great beings to have a true treasure. After being resurrected 3 times, he not only owes 6 universe knights, but he also owes our race. It's almost impossible for him to turn things around unless his power surges and he becomes a universe overlord. However, that hasn't happened even after billions of years of practice. Actually, continued Kwangju Knight, those universe country masters won't dare to go to dangerous places like original stars even if they have the clone talent. Unless they have power or ambitions, that is. Gamwu Universe Country Master has been staying inside his universe country for a long time to train himself, and he also cultivates generations of juniors, which is another way to earn contribution points. Although it's extremely slow, it's safe. Sometimes, he'll also go to the universe secret regions without much danger. It's unlucky that he has fallen so low. However, he's also fortunate enough to be with us humans, as we have universe masters to resurrect him. If he was part of a weaker race, he would be dead forever. Luo Feng turned around. Gamwu Universe Country Master was conversing with Maihua Knight, and Gamwu was trying to appease Maihua Knight. A short while later, Maihua Knight left. Gamwu Country Master also left straight away. After all, staying on was embarrassing. Luo Feng watched everything in silence. Gamwu Country Master. Was he lucky? Or unlucky? Luo Feng was not able to tell for sure, but he could see that Gamwu Country Master was in a difficult position. Kwangju Knight, I will leave it to you to look for news of Qian Yang Knight. Thank you for helping out. Luo Feng continued chatting with Kwangju Knight for quite some time before he stood up to leave. Ha ha. I will inform you once I have news. A small matter, Kwangju Knight said. Then Luo Feng vanished into thin air. On the mountains of Thunder Island in the virtual universe, in the palace of Gamwu Country Master. He was alone, pacing about the gallery area with furrowed brows, deep in thought. He was indeed frustrated. He had not expected the quiet, peaceful days to be disrupted once again after such a long time. He had good relationships with the 6 universe knights that he was indebted to, so they did not press him. The peaceful years had led him to forget about the difficult times in the past. But today, he was really in a spot. Humph! Gamwu Country Master slapped the stone pillar beside him so forcefully that it shook, and some powered bits fell off. Gamwu, a voice resonated. Gamwu Country Master turned and saw a figure descending a distance away. After one look at who it was, he immediately walked over to extend his welcome with a smile. Luo Feng. It's been a long time since I visited your humble abode. Luo Feng smiled. You have not spent much time on cultivation, and yet you have made tremendous progress. Time is definitely of the essence. Gamwu Country Master grinned. Come, come, come. We shall take a seat over there. He led Luo Feng to an open sitting area not too far away. Servants were already laying out a spread of delectable food and fine wine. The two sat across one another. Young Hai is not getting himself into any sort of trouble lately, is he? Luo Feng asked. No. He is quite talented and also very hardworking, Gamwu Country Master said with a smile. If not for me forcefully keeping him under my reins, he would already have become undying. Luo Feng nodded. His son, Luo Hai had also cultivated himself for hundreds of thousands of years. Furthermore, he had an abundant supply of resources that would make any undying emperor green with envy. Given Luo Feng's status, even if his son did not hold very high qualifications, he could still rely on the richness of resources to become undying. Besides, Luo Hai was indeed quite talented and had always considered his father, Luo Feng, his role model. Staying as a sector lord for a longer time will be good for him, too, Luo Feng said. It would be best if his law comprehension could reach emperor level before he achieved a breakthrough to becoming undying. Yes, that is my plan, too. Ganwu country master nodded his agreement. Ha ha. Young Hai is the only one that I am worried about in my family, said Luo Feng. Luckily, I have you as his master to help him all this while. Luo Feng expressed his gratitude. His older son, Luo Ping, and his wife, Xu Xin, were all at their family nest. His father, Luo Hongguo, and mother, Gongxin Lan, had indulged in virtual games for a good many years. Although unintentionally, they had unknowingly attained the 9th stage of domain level. If they were to put in a little more effort, they would have become sector lords. Of course, he could allow such uninhibited use of resources, but such use was limited to his parents, wife, sons, and brother. The other hundreds of millions of clansmen of the Luo family would have to follow the rules. Otherwise, even if there was an abundant supply of resources, it would not be enough to provide for countless clansmen if they consumed what they had at a crazy rate. There had to be some rule system within the clan. Counting only Luo Feng's closest kin, it would only be his youngest son, Luo Hai, out there wandering. The fact that he considered Luo Feng his role model worried him a bit. Luckily, Luo Hai had found his way to the Ganwu dojo, and thereafter, he had been taken under the wing of the dojo's founder, Ganwu country master, who accepted him as a special disciple. Luo Feng looked at Ganwu country master and thought about how indebted he was to him. When he had just made his appearance among the human race with the identity of merely a genius, Ganwu country master had taken good care of his family. As he became stronger and stronger, Ganwu country master provided him with even more help, and without reservations. He even went to save Luo Hai in person. Now, he was Luo Hai's teacher. From the very beginning, Ganwu country master had not asked Luo Feng for any help. On the contrary, he had been helping Luo Feng all this while. How could Luo Feng not take all these things to heart? That was why he had come here. Ganwu, I witnessed what happened in the inner city of Hong Alliance City, Luo Feng began. Ganwu country master's expression froze momentarily, but the next moment, he shook his head and let out a soft sigh. Greed. It was greed. He shook his head and sighed again. The very first time I was annihilated, I reversed time and space to resurrect myself. If, thereafter, I had not been greedy and wanted to recoup my loss, I would not have taken the risk to borrow a true treasure and would not have gone back into the original star. That moment of greed. The last annihilation. Because of these, I am indebted to my clan and owe them a true treasure and a series of treasures. That was the greatest loss I ever incurred. 3 falls would naturally bring such an outcome. Ganwu country master shook his head. If you want to go to the original star, you must be very careful. One careless mistake, and you will be annihilated. If you are annihilated, the price to pay would be exorbitant. If I was able to divide myself into other bodies, how advantageous that would be. Luo Feng nodded in agreement. The talent of dividing bodies meant that even if one body was annihilated, the main body could still recover over time at its own pace. There was no need to reverse time and space just to be resurrected. The price to pay was small. I need to think of a way to repay my debts, continued Ganwu country master. Some of my good friends have transferred a portion of their contributions to me, so I could at least return the true treasure that I owed. Yet being able to pay off that true treasure also meant that I would end up owing a few friends another favor. As for my debt to my clansmen accumulated until today, I can't tell for sure how many eras it will take me to finally repay everything. Greed, he said again. If it weren't for greed, after the first annihilation, I would not have taken another risk. I would have amassed an amount to completely recoup the loss I incurred from being annihilated. By then, it would not have been too late to move on to the next adventure. Ganwu Country Master shook his head. Luo Feng understood him. A clan was no charity. Its existence would help its own clansmen, but to do so, it needed the contributions from great beings of the clan. The privilege to enjoy benefits and the responsibility to contribute were interdependent. If Ganwu Country Master continued to owe his clan repeatedly in such a manner, the debt was bound to multiply. Luckily for him, his clan was not forcing him into a corner. "How much do you owe?" Luo Feng asked. "Huh?" Ganwu Country Master was stunned and looked at Luo Feng. He could roughly guess his intentions and was hence unable to suppress his agitated emotions. Could it be Luo Feng, known to be a mobile treasury, was going to help him? "I am indebted to 6 universe knights," he said. "The smallest amount is a few hundred treasure points, and the largest amount is 2,000 treasure points. All 6 debts put together equal about 1.6 true treasure points. As for my clan, I owe a total of 2.2 true treasure points." Luo Feng was secretly taken aback. Ouch! No wonder he could not pay off everything. 3.8 true treasure points was enough to exchange for 2 to 3 ordinary true treasures. Such an amount could be worth the entire fortune of a universe overlord. Ganwu Country Master had accumulated an alarming debt. Of course, Luo Feng did not really care. From killing Bark Mirror Emperor, he had obtained a true treasure armor. Then, in the land of extremis, when he killed Demon Sword Knight, who had the abilities of a universe overlord, he won himself another 2 true treasures, of which one was a heavenly sword that was a supreme true treasure. As of today, Luo Feng owned Tower Pearl, Star Map, Shawu Wings, 9 Tiger River, Golden King Armor, the Heavenly Sword and Armor of Demon Sword Knight, Top Tier True Treasure Series Beast God Armor, Pinnacle True Treasure Force Armor, the Senior True Treasure Battle Sword Cutting Pearl, and he would be getting the Supreme True Treasure Star Tower soon. The quantity was plenty, and their quality was high. Of course, the top 3 were God Beast Armor, Force Armor, and Star Tower. Out of the 3, Force Armor and Star Tower had both been bestowed to him by Sitting Mountain Guest. The Beast God Armor series had been won from Ancestor. These 3 all came from Universe Supreme Masters. Given Luo Feng's techniques, getting hold of true treasures was no difficulty at all. The strong would always be strong. That was the underlying theory behind his success. "I will lend you 1.6 true treasure points," Luo Feng said. "As for the amount you owe your people, you'll have to figure that out for yourself." 1.6 true treasure points. Ganwu Country Master felt every cell of his godly roaring with joy. His emotions ran high. Trillions of years' worth of debt owed to 6 good friends, all of whom were universe knights. It was so torturous. Especially with my Hua Knight constantly berating him. As a universe knight, he was very particular about pride. Yet in the face of all his good friends' denunciation, all he could do was tolerate it. But from this day on, all of these problems would be things of the past. Luo Feng, Ganwu Country Master, began but said no more. He was thankful beyond words. At that moment, he received a notification package to tell him that he had received a contribution worth 1.6 true treasure points, and another package that was rushing him to return the contribution to his clan. Of course, Ganwu Country Master was not in a rush to return to his clan yet. After all, his clansmen would not be put through embarrassment. "I can only help this much, the rest is up to you," Luo Feng said, and he stood up. "This favor is really..." "Ha ha," Ganwu Country Master could not hold back his laughter. "I'm sorry, I'm forgetting myself here. This stress that has been weighing on me for what feels like an eternity. Today, all of it has been lifted off me. What follows will be to gradually return to my clan." Luo Feng nodded. Ganwu Country Master had helped his family so much, and this would be a way of repaying his kindness. Helping him with 1.6 true treasure points should suffice. What he owed his own clan would serve as a form of reminder and pressure on Ganwu Country Master. "I will make a move first." Luo Feng disappeared the very next moment. Ganwu Country Master stood unmoving, his eyes lit up, bright then brighter. "Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Ganwu Country Master turned up his head and laughed. His joyful laughter resonating throughout the entire palace. Servants handpicked by Ganwu Country Master looked at one another. They had never heard him laugh so happily before. He was laughing without inhibition. Ganwu Country Master immediately transferred the contributions to his 6 good friends accordingly. The 6 Universe Knights contacted Ganwu one after the other. Ganwu, you actually returned the contributions. Where did you get them from? Ganwu, what I did in the Hong Alliance city earlier on was unintentional. I just had an anxiety attack. Where did you get the contributions from? If you are really at wit's end, do not just act recklessly. Taking a little more time is fine. I can still pull through. Ganwu Country Master was in a very good mood, so he chatted with every one of these 6 Universe Knights. All my stress, gone in a day. Ganwu Country Master felt relaxed, but at the same time, he sighed to himself. This Luo Feng's progress was unbelievable. Within the blink of an eye, he had transferred 1.6 true treasure points over to him. In the starry sky of the universe, amidst the darkness, there was an indistinct space whirlpool. The path to original star number 02818. Luo Feng stood in the middle of the starry sky with silver wings widely spread. The force armor that he donned appeared silver, on his back was his cutting pearl sword. Previously, I entered secretly, so no one knew that I, Luo Feng, has entered an original star, he said. There were a few knights within the Hong Alliance already discussing this, saying that I was purely making excuses when I said that would not lend anyone my true treasures because I wanted to go into the original star. Ha ha. Of course, I should now enter as my human form. Universe overlords of other races, the mobile treasury in human form is coming. Luo Feng took one big step across the starry sky and stepped into that gigantic space whirlpool. There, he was rapidly brought to the original star. This video will end here.